Welcome to Season 2 of Path of the Brush. Let's sling some paint. Hey everybody, Rick here with Path of the Brush on Gen Con TV here on Twitch. I just want to say thank you for joining us. Today's episode is going to be kind of fun and interesting. Have you ever heard of a company called Norse Foundry? And if you have, what do you think of first when you think of Norse Foundry? I personally think of Click Clacks, Math Rocks, and all those beautiful things that they have at their booth at all the conventions that we see them. But did you know they also make miniatures? And today we will be painting one of their miniatures from their Adventurers Adversaries line right here. This is the Dragon Antiquarian, and look at this. This looks like a young wormling dragon that would be like one of those impressions. But as you turn him around, you're thinking, wait a minute, fedora, whip, is this an Indiana Jones-esque dragon? If so, also very cool. Because who doesn't want to hear a little dun 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 dun? And we probably can't go any further than that on that song. So, all right, we're gonna get started on it. As we are always want to do, we are going to be using the Army Painter Speed Paints 2.0 and some base acrylic Army Painter colors as well to perform our very delicate surgery on this miniature. So everybody stand by. Let's see, what do I want first? I think Poppy Red is going to be a fun color for the dragon scales because when I look at the packaging, it's got kind of like a reddish orange appeal to it. So let's do that. The other thing I think is pretty cool about this is it comes with a little like D20 holder where the treasure would be, and as the antiquarian was trying to apprehend it, all of the treasures. Oop, give this a little shake. Drip, drip, drip. Right into there. We learned our lesson. I think we've gone pretty far without having a bottle explode on us recently, which is great. All right. So yeah, I was really surprised and pleasantly shocked when I was talking to the folks over at Norris Foundry and saw that they had some miniatures as part of their offerings. And these ones are really like nice. Like this would be like a display miniature for me. I'd paint them up, paint up the base where the D20 sits, and I'd put like a really nice D20 in there, like a prismatic one that's see through but reflects all the light like uh, like a crystal chandelier, or a deep earthy color that maybe some local denizens of the deep would find interesting and put on display in their you know dungeon of death. So yeah, so this poppy red is really looking nice on there. I'm really happy with that so far. I can't say that I've ever painted a red dragon wormling like looking creature that actually gives a little bit of like a what is the like a mole, you know, with a digger claws, kind of this weird like snout that isn't quite a dragon snout. So I'm curious, is Do you think younger dragons like this one would look more like like a mole or a groundhog? Not a groundhog. What are they called? Uh, they don't see very well. Is it just a mole? Because those moles have like a little like tentacle-y thing on the front. Yeah. What were the creatures from the Narnia movie that they first kind of run into in the den with Mr. Thomas? All right. So if you're watching and you're familiar with the Narnia movies, what was that creature, or what does this creature kind of give you a vibe for? I'm almost thinking maybe even like armadillo, all right, with these claws and this more of a like a raccoon snout with scales is kind of throwing maybe a little armadillo vibe. But I want to hear everybody in the chat. Let us know. And by here, I mean, you know, I can read it. Regardless of what you may have heard about Michigan public schooling, I did learn how to read here. Hashtag go Michigan. Yeah. So, Will, how has your week been since last you were in the studio here for an episode of Path of the Brush?
It's been a good week. I've been just busy with life, trying to get more painting done. There's a lot of stuff to paint, and that pile keeps getting bigger because birthday just happened. So
Ooh,
plastic for the birthday.
nice. Can I ask how old we are now?
47, which is a prime number, and that
What?
makes it neat.
That does make it neat. 47. That was a good year for me. Ish.
I'll try to keep up to that standard.
I feel like 47 for me was the beginning of the pandemic.
It's all been dog years since then.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it started when I was 21. Now
Wow. I wonder if we're even allowed to say that word or even reference it on media anymore, lest we feel the wrath of the social gods and goddesses.
yeah, I can see that word has it should have a trigger warning around it,
Right.
right?
Yeah. So and I'd like to know what everybody else in the chat and watching us, what did you guys get into this week? What did you paint this week on your path of the brush? What found its way to your painting station or table or den or, you know, cavernous dungeon like we have here? So I must know.
Yeah, my big birthday present for myself was to make all of that gray plastic primed plastic so I could at least start
Ooh,
putting paint on it when I wanted to.
it's you being all industrious. Did you bring some to work on tonight?
I did indeed, just in case. I have
Nice.
some more, incarnate sentinels and the Avatara, which are like the runway models from Heck,
Oh,
from
nice.
Double Heck.
Double heck. Nice. Runway model. This is from Conquest? Nice. They are from Conquest. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of digging this particular red poppy or poppy red speed paint. It's going on and looking really nice in the way it like leaches into those cracks and crevasses right there.
With a name like that, I wondered if it'd be good on a bagel.
Oh yeah. Oh, don't get me started. Before you got here, I so in the parking lot of where the studio is at, there is a pizza joint called Slice by Saddleback. And Saddleback is a barbecue joint here in the Lansing area. And they started opening up some pizza joints. and so we're lucky to have one right here in our parking lot. Went over and got myself a couple of slices of meat lovers, not because I wanted meat lovers, because I didn't. They usually have meatballs. You get four meatballs, sauce, mozzarella, freaking amazing. They are discontinuing them for a short period of time, is what I was told. But it broke my heart, almost had me down on my knees begging. I just need your last four meatballs. It's all I want. It's all I've ever needed. But no, and what's funny is the manager told me that in their meeting, they had said to their boss, the owners of the place, that if they do that, there's a good chance they're going to break some hearts. And my name came up. They're like,
He
he
gets
gets
it
it
all.
all the time.
I always love when I like that feeling that they know you enough
Hmm.
that they know when they're gonna gonna do something that break your heart, and they might
Yep.
not.
No, but apparently they're going to be doing, instead of buying meatballs that are like kind of like pre-prepared in some capacity, they're going to be doing fresh and homemade meatballs instead.
Ooh,
Right. It's like I can wait because yes, please.
that's a fun recipe. That's just like ground beef and stale bread with some egg, right? And any other
I mean,
seasoning is to
right.
taste.
Yeah, pretty much. At least that's what I think. But what do I know? I'm not a. I'm not that chef. I don't even speak French.
That Michigan schooling still, because yeah, we don't speak French in Michigan.
That's right. Not anymore.
Oh, yeah, it has been a while. You know your history. I do have a bit of a barbecue bait and switch that happened this week.
What?
Yeah, went out to Detroit to help out with help some folks out,
Okay.
and I was excited because I was real close to a there's a barbecue joint that I've been to before, but the people
Okay.
I was helping out told me that there was a local grocery store that had homemade tamales,
Mm.
and like barbecue didn't matter anymore at that point. Like homemade tamales,
You forgot even that it existed.
yeah.
So,
Oh, top shelf, they were incredible.
all
This is
right.
little store right next to if anybody knows the area in Detroit with the old train depot, and there was the book depository that was right across the street from
That
it.
big building.
The big building was
Mm.
the train depot, and the book depository is across the street from it. They're turning that into like a tech innovation hub kind of thing.
Okay.
And I was helping out there, and just across the bridge from that place was that little grocery store, a wonderful little mom and pop grocery store, bunch
Nice.
of homemade food in the back, lots of tamales and homemade taquitos, and oh,
All the right foods.
yeah, it made my day.
Nice. Heck yeah. I like a good like Mexican fusion where they take. Have you ever had like Mediterranean food, but then they make the Mediterranean dish into a taco dish? It's
No,
ridiculous and good.
where do
Yeah.
they do that?
There was they called it Medtex Fusion, and it was in the Baltimore area, and
It's a bit of a hike.
yeah, a little bit, and but man, whew, I go there all the time. Be like, yes, please. I would like that right there with the lamb.
A good like lamb euro. That's hard to find nowadays.
Oh yeah. And you know what's funny is, I'm hungry when I'm painting and talking about food. I mean, I got two slices of pizza over at Slice, but now I'm just like, I could eat something more substantial, like I don't know, a lamb taco.
It,
Be
ooh, ooh, man, that'd be good.
Yeah,
I'll talk about food all day long.
because it's worthy.
Yeah, food's great.
It is. I agree. It is what drives us.
Yeah. And it's kind of that time of year, right? It's the holiday,
It is.
the
I mean,
food holiday.
I'm. It's on my mind. Obviously, with tomorrow being what it is, right? Thanksgiving and all here in the states, and it's like turkey, ham. What are we getting? We getting deviled eggs? Because I will wrestle for deviled eggs. Like last deviled egg, who wants it? It's not who wants it. It's who's gonna get it,
Who's getting in my way?
right? Who's gonna get in my way when the deviled eggs come a calling?
It's a little paprika on top. Mm.
Oh, yes. So for those of you watching, what is your favorite non-traditional Thanksgiving dish? All right. And I think we all know what traditional, like stereotypical traditional dish would be turkey, mashed potatoes, corn, maybe yams or sweet potato, some capacity, either as sweet potato or as a pie. Um, I also would say that a traditional dish, I think here in Michigan or just the Midwest, is green bean casserole. Right.
Yeah, yeah, like the little fried onions on top.
Mhm. Yes, so good. I'm betting that a lot of folks have something that's very peculiar to others, but very traditional to them based on where they live in the United States and the world in general that might have a similar celebration. So,
The real celebration for me was always all the leftover turkey sandwiches afterwards.
mm,
Like that could be my religion. Leftover turkey sandwiches,
all
honestly.
right.
I'd go to that church.
I think I founded that one in the late 1700s. Yeah. As soon as we got to the New World, I was like, what? That's sandwich meat, sir.
I bet you those birds would be good 2 days after they were cooked in bread.
Let's call the Earl of Sandwich and get the information. What do you think about this? To me, at once. Yeah, that's crazy. This little dragon guy is looking pretty slick. It's gonna be fun to hit him with the details after all the bases are put on him. But I think he's looking pretty cool. Like, hey guys, it's me. I'm just here to like grab your dice and stuff and take them back to my hoard, cause I am a dice hoarder. That's a better like accent for this guy. You look the way his nose is kind of like slightly up there, and he's like, "Oh, no, I don't think I could do that. But if you don't need it, I'll take it. Okay." Almost like I could see him being a little like wimpy. I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
He seems like the kind of guy who would throw a guy a whip so he would get the idol.
Right? Throw me the idol. Throw me the whip. The idol first. What was the name of that actor from? Um, he played Doc Octopus. Yeah, the guy from Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark that was in that beginning sequence with Indy was the actor who played Doc Ock. I cannot, and he was also, I think, in Chocolat and
Alfred Molina.
Alfred Molina. Yes, he's a very fun facial expressionist actor, at least in my opinion, and I enjoy his works.
Yeah, he's got an incredible range. He's
Yeah,
done so many things. His voice work is great too. It doesn't You don't have to see his face for him to be effective.
right. He's got a weird like sneer in some of his delivery. Hello, Peter. It's like, whoa, it's very cool. But I think this guy here is the real deal, boss. I think we're going to have to ice him. That's what he kind of looks like is Mr. Big from Zootopia. Wasn't he a mole?
Oh man, I haven't seen Zootopia in a while. Now I gotta look that up.
Yeah, Mr. Big from Zootopia. I cannot remember what he was. I feel like he was a mole.
He was indeed a mole.
All right.
This guy knows his animals.
I do know my animated species. All right. Do the turn around on there and be like, okay, we just got to put some red on his ears here. Looks good.
Do you have a favorite anthropomorphic animal movie or show?
Ooh, that's a great question. Do I have a favorite anthropomorphic movie or show? I'm a big fan of the movie Sing right now. Like the first and second one are both really good, but the first one was like really good. And Johnny the gorilla, who's played by that kid Eggleston or whatever, Eggsy Eggleston or something. He was also in The Kingsman, and he was the actor who played oh, what's his name? Rocket Man. Taron Egerton, yeah. Eggsy. Uh, John Lennon, or not John Lennon, John. Come on, I'm having a cranial infarction right now. Uh, John Elton or Elton John. Yeah, I was dyslexia on the names there, the order in which they landed. Elton John. He played Elton John in like the Elton John biopic, and he did an amazing job.
You know, it didn't hit me until a good 10 years after the fact because I used to wait tables at Denny's.
Hmm.
And then I actually started listening to and finding out the songs that Elton John had done. And I realized that was the only thing they streamed through those speakers through the midnight hours when I was working at like, as I did third shift there. That's the basically the only guy they played was Elton John
Oh, that's awkward.
for like 8 straight hours. And it was different songs.
What?
That guy's got a library.
Whoever put him in for that run was probably like, if I put it in here at 9 and I study for 12 hours here in the library or whatever, I'll get. Why did I say library? Did you? Okay, I'm tired. That's funny. Yeah, I would be like, yep, got 12 hours to study. I got uh, the extended hits, complete hits of Elton John. Let's do this. That's crazy. I thought you said Denny's.
It was Denny's. I worked at Denny's for a little over a year working third shift. The bar crowd.
Yes,
Those were some adventures.
I have no doubt. I don't know if I could ever work at a fast food. I mean, if I had to, I probably could, obviously, but I've I only worked one what I would consider fast food or um, food uh, situation, restaurant scene, and it was for Papa John's when I was stationed in Waukegan or Great Lakes, Illinois, at the naval base up there where boot camp was and stuff for the Navy. And I mooned that one time delivering pizzas for the holidays. And like the second or third day, I got maced twice. Yep. So they could rob me. Yeah. And I was like, I am not a fan of mace, so I don't need this extra money that bad.
Were you delivering pizzas?
Yeah. I was delivering pizzas at the time.
I did that for about a year too. I fortunately never got maced.
Good. I'm glad you didn't, because it sucks.
No, it was only to dorms. So
Oh, okay.
there was a lot of gratitude for that pizza to show up. It
Bro,
was, bro, you brought the pizza.
sweet. Bro, dude.
Yeah, and there was cheesy sticks that came with ranch, and that's when I realized that a lot of college women have ranch as a religion.
Oh, yes. Ranch is, it is a religion. Before, so I've had some weird like turns in my life, and one of them was when I was 35 years old, and I realized or discovered that I now am allergic to shellfish. Right? Up until that point, could eat shellfish. And sometime in that 35-year range, my body was just like, you know what? We're gonna take something away you really like. And so, excuse me, when I was eating like shrimp and stuff, I would put it in Paul Newman's ranch dressing in like a tinfoil like wrap with the ranch, and I'd put it on a grill and let it just kind of simmer and marinate in there. And then when it was all said and done and ready, you just pull it out and you just sit there and pick it right out of like a tinfoil bowl of ranch and juices. It's like, oh,
My man,
I
that's
know.
you said you don't speak French.
It was a very fine. It was a fine cuisine.
So did you at least get to negotiate with your body about losing those shellfish? Like you trade that in for superpowers? Yeah.
No.
That's
You
nonsense.
know what? I can't take that. You know, I can take that back. Maybe a little bit, because I was really. This was back when I was really pushing myself physically in the gym and stuff, and you know, wh- I have no doubt that it probably had something to do with like if you remember this, there was a company called EAS Sports Supplements, and they had creatine and hydroxycut. Right, that was like their like flagship product was hydroxycut. So I was taking everything they made and was like in the gym for hours a day, just getting freaking, you know, shredded. I mean, I don't look like that now. Stuff happened, and yeah, an age, and got injured, and still ate like I was lifting. But anyways, there's a good possibility that during that time frame, all of those supplements I was taking was messing with my chemistry and or whatever, and was like, "Yep, we'll give you more muscle, but take away shellfish." I was like, "Wow." Yeah, I go into Russian mode when it's anytime you talk about sports and exercise and lifting. It's like, "Oh, you like to lift in Russia? Weights lift you."
We have a way to make you strong.
Yes, and yeah, I got really strong, but I was in Los Rocas, Mexico, eating lobster, and all of a sudden I started getting these hives on my arms and like the in the elbow, where all the sweaty parts are, right? And it was itching, and then it started. My throat got red, and I started itching the throat. I was lucky because I was down there with a couple of my fellow corpsmen, very Ricky rescue types. They had a med bag with them always in their vehicle. Um, and one of them ran and grabbed the EpiPen and hit me with it, and they took me to a Mexican hospital, which scared me half to life, which was why I'm here today. They were really they did a really good job. It was a fine hospital, um, but yeah, I was like, if this is how I go, this is how I go. Give me another bite of that lobster tail.
How I just recently learned that EpiPens have an expiration date. That freaked me out.
Yeah,
It's like was hoping to pick them up just to try and be a Ricky Rescue type,
No,
but they're not cheap.
they are not. It is probably one of the most expensive items out there, just because, and that expiration date, like many expiration dates on medicine and stuff, they're really early on their expiration dates. That's for people that need to go and buy or get new meds early or whatever, in my opinion. And I did do medicine for 20 years, so I might have a thought, but I may not be right.
Your thoughts aren't necessarily influenced by running that kind of for-profit enterprise, right?
Correct. All right, so I'm putting on this color called Goddess Glow. Um, it has like a brownish, bronzy look, and I was thinking that it would give the illusion of like a leather jacket, right? So fingers crossed. Let's see. It kind of is. It's not too bad, but I want to see how it looks overall. I feel like because this is such a large, relatively flat area or surface area, um, you're not getting as much of that wicking or capillary refill effect into the cracks and crevices that you would get like on those scales, which look amazing. The jacket is got a lot of flat surfaces, so it's, you know, a little different, but it looks good. So what do you got going on besides um, Thanksgiving tomorrow there, Will?
Well, glad to note that we're not doing 5 Thanksgivings and 7 Christmases this year. That tradition
Ooh,
has ended.
that's a lot.
Yeah, as it would start in October and end in February.
Jesus.
No, we've toned that down. So it's going to be Thanksgiving and then the day off, and then I'm heading over to this little place you may have heard of called Hoplite Games.
Ooh, I feel like I have heard about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Be doing a Conquest Angry Chicken event there. Pretty
Ooh,
geek for that.
that does sound pretty cool. I hear rumor tell them old cowpokes over at Hoplite gonna have some chicken nug nugs available for folks to come in and partake in some chicken nuggies and also paint some miniatures. Or they will have to do the whole build, paint, play situation. We've got a bunch of the noble lords that they can put together. We'll spritz a little primer on them and then let them put some paint on it and be like, there's your participation. So, and then through participation, they get a raffle ticket to potentially win Tantor or something like that, right? Is that how that works?
I thought the raffle ticket was actually for the Angry Chickens that they sent you, and the Tantor was to fund the whole thing.
Oh, we got to sell the Tantor?
Yeah,
I don't like that.
or you could. I mean, it's your Tantor.
Kind of feel like it should just be given to some lucky person, but I can't. I don't know.
You'd sell the chicken and raffle the Tantor. Instructions unclear.
The Tantor was so good. Such a big. It's such a big model, and we've put it together, but not fully, so that they can paint the different parts of the model and then assemble it painted. Because it's one of those ones where if you put certain things on it, you're gonna miss. It's gonna make, I think, some things difficult in painting. So
Yeah, it definitely needs subassembly, and you have two choices for what the Tantor does. It can be like the drum beast or the Tantor. And I've got some Valkyries left too that we can set up and have those
nice.
primed for painting as well.
Painters. All
Yeah.
right. That would be great. Let's see who we got here. We got 6 people watching us. I'm guessing it's probably a rotating number of 6, but if you're, hanging out with us, that would be great. For those of you that are new, we are painting one of the Adventurer's Adversaries by Norse Foundry. I know you hear Norse Foundry, and all you can think of is they only make dice and other accoutrement. Well, this is part of that other accoutrement. They do a little this little miniatures like this. They also have some other really cool ones too that make they come where they have multiple different arms, and if you put the little like the rare earth magnets in them, they'll you know stick onto the arm sockets. You can replace them and have them set up in different poses and such, which are pretty cool. Yeah. But yeah, they've done some pretty cool miniatures. I kind of feel like this particular one too could be like a mutated um like a mutated armadillo or a mutated crocodile or something that got wings and kind of stunted his growth but gave him a higher level of intelligence, right? So but the only way that something like that could happen is probably in some around 1994 from outer space, like a runaway planet or something collided between the earth and the moon, which would probably unleash cosmic destruction, um, which I believe would destroy man's civilization. Yeah, and but
I believe so. Yeah.
yeah, about 2,000 years later, you would find out, oh, the Earth is reborn, a strange new world, you know, full of savagery, sorcery, and super science. So
It's Thundar o'clock.
it's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is the time in the show where we gave homage to our good friend Thundar the Barbarian, who broke his bonds to fight for freedom. And with his faithful companions, Ukla the Mock and Princess Ariel, was able to defeat all evil. There's also, his son's sword, because he was Thundar the Barbarian.
Was that literally called the Sun Sword?
Hmm. With his fabulous sun sword. Yeah, such a great character.
I know it was modeled off of like a lightsaber, but I also wonder if
Hmm.
it's like an homage to Claim Soleil, like um, Alexander the Great's sword.
Oh, that's a good possibility. Yeah, that's a very good possibility. Because I have a feeling that the original writers and creators of Thundar were very steeped in the idea of history and everything. Because though it would have been, it's not history now. It will be history 2,000 years later. But they're showing like all the things that they would have had in our era, still hidden as artifacts and stuff in Thundar's era. Especially when they go to the Isle of Manhat. They had some great one-liners in there. And that makes me want to know too, is like when you're playing like a role-playing game like Dungeons and Dragons or whatever, do you ever give your characters like cheesy one-liners or um what are they called? Uh Lines that they use over and over again that are like
A
Sun-
catchphrase?
yeah, thank you. Catchphrase. So Sundar had a couple. He had he'd shout out Ariel, Ukla, ride, right? And they'd ride their weird looking horses. And then he also had demon dogs and lords of light were his catchphrases whenever he was like on the verge of trouble or whatever.
Oh, like those were his exclamations.
Hmm.
Like, I gotcha.
Yeah. Lords of light, demon dogs. So good. And another thing that a lot of people don't realize, and maybe enough do, Ukla the Mock is a cat creature, not a like bear or anything like that. He was a feline-esque creature. And now for the hat.
I think I got my swords mixed up.
What
That,
do you think?
that Claim Soleil, that's a Celtic weapon.
Okay.
from Celtic myth. It's got echoes in Arthurian myth. Joyeuse was a sword of Charlemagne that ended up
Joyeuse.
in the hands of Alexander the Great.
Oh, nice. And what is this? Joyeuse? Do they have a translation to that name?
Joyful, which is, I mean, not what you'd think when you're talking about a sword.
Right.
The happiest little sword.
Or it's what brought Alexander joy in his missions was swinging that bad boy around or whatever. So many possibilities. Oh, shoot.
That thing is ornate. Wow, that's got lots of gold, lots of gilding.
Nice.
See if I can get a picture for y'all.
Heck yeah. Good news. Good news. All right. So we're going to put some of this princess glow on the fedora as well. All right. There we go. This fedora is just the most adorable thing. I could see why, like, a character like Indy would never want to lose it. And would reach back as the door is closing dramatically, just to get it just in time. It's very cool. All right. It's kind of funny the fluctuation in viewers we get. 14 1 second, 3, 2, steady. Another. All right, I'm gonna set this down for a second. Rinse off the brush. I'm gonna let that dry. Um, I feel like I need to consider what I'm gonna put on its little claws and its horns
Well,
and its
here's the Joe
eyes.
use for you.
So use, yes, please. Oh wow, I like those the gemstone array in the sheath.
Yeah. Oh, so look at all those fleur de lis all
Hmm.
along the sheath too, engraved in there.
Yeah, it's wild.
That man, history is fun.
It is pretty cool. I enjoy it very much. All right, let's see what else I got here. Charming chartreuse. I'm gonna go ahead and say nope. Slaughter red is a cool one. Let's try fire drake. Let's see what this does. Okay, let's grab this bad boy here. Let's see if I can actually use the hobby holder on this miniature today. Mm, it is, yeah, it is. You thirsty? Nice. I'm just wicking off some of the excess color of this fedora. Should put two eyes on there and be like, oh, it has eyes in the back of his head. All right. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a little bit of sticky tack on here and hopefully it'll work to keep them connected to there. Nice. So yesterday here at the studio, we recorded episode 2 of our new podcast, which is called the Hoplite Gaming Network or Hoplite Game or Citizen Gamers. That's what it is. Oof, I'm over here thinking Hoplite Games. I got so much going on. It's called the Citizen Gamers Podcast, which, as a lot of you know, hoplites or Spartan warriors were considered citizen soldiers. So with the store being called Hoplite Games, we are kind of playing off of that whole theme and vibe. So we went with the whole citizen gamer shtick, and it was fun. We had the organizer of the that is my sticky tack is wah, wah, wah. We had the local organizer for the Michigan uh, Capital City Comic Con event and talked about how Comic Cons are integrating more tabletop into their events and what it was like for them last year and what kind of results they got from it and how they feel about the whole gamer community coming out and participating in that part of their show, even though it's not a traditional Comic Con and thing to do. So it'll be interesting to see comments and stuff later in the future once that actually broadcasts. What are your thoughts on that, there, Will?
The cross pollination is always good. You know, there's so much intersection of passions that you just want to let that run free. That's at least my take.
Okay, that's a good answer. Right. And how about for everybody watching or painting with us while we sit here and chitty chat about miniature painting, which is pretty cool.
What was your first mini? Do you remember?
I do. It was a dwarven cleric from Ral Partha Miniatures back in like 1984 or 86. I want to say 84. And it was awesome. He had this like Warhammer, like where his arms are straight down in front of him, and just kind of crosses hip line, and this had this like real like Superman power pose, right? And it's like that's a cleric. That looks like a warrior. I mean, obviously you could play it as a warrior, I'm sure, but it was a cleric for me, and I was like, dang, it was a maul, kind of more of a maul than an actual Warhammer. Yeah, it was a great miniature. I know. I think the company's called Ironwind Studios, who still has some of the original um, casts for some of those models, and they can still do those old Rapartha metal minis.
It's a shame. That's for a diminishingly small audience now, right? That's basically for us when we were kids.
Yeah,
Feeding that kid
right.
many years later.
Absolutely. There's probably gonna be somebody that would be like, I didn't diminishing. I got tons of that old pewter just sitting around. And they're like, what? All right.
Yeah. Did you ever get any when they were still lead or like one of
No,
those?
I don't believe so. Because if I did, I'd have way more problems today than I currently do. Because you know, you lick your brushes always. It's part of the job. At least that's what I've been told.
Well, it was just enamel paints back then, though.
Oh man, they're delicious.
Are they? Oh, I had
Candy apple red enamel from Testers. Oh,
exactly what it says
I
on the
mean,
tin. This truth in advertising.
I would not do it, obviously, but because that old Testers enamel paint just stinks so bad. All right.
Yeah, they set us up with like bad lessons for how to use acrylics later too. Just
Oh, I did.
slapping it on. Yeah.
Yeah, they absolutely did. Let's go ahead and give a shout out to some of our sponsors. We've got a big thank you to Gen Con TV and everybody over at the behind the scenes at Gen Con TV that allow us to be here and help make all this magic happen. To Will in the background today who's been chatting up the show, which is great, and through Mark, who isn't here today. He had to go do something with family or something, you know. Okay, and then to our paint sponsor, Army Painter, to Game Envy, who provide the paints, the hobby handle. And again, it's not the hobby handle's fault this isn't sticking, but my sticky tack is just, it's more like dry clay at this point. I didn't take it off and put it in like plastic or anything to keep it good, moist, and sticky. And then they also make the pop collapsible paint cut or brush cleaning cup there. Super cool. Oh, you got one of the newer ones too. Those are really
Yeah,
nice.
I just picked this up. It's really handy.
Mm, such a good tool for your painting toolbox. And though Norse Foundry is not a sponsor, big shout out to Norse Foundry. And make sure that if you're wanting to check out all the miniatures that they have, go to norsefoundry.com, or just Google Norse Foundry. Norse, like in the Norse gods of old. And go see all the cool stuff they have besides dice, because you can see those all the time. Check out the other stuff.
Do you got any fresh sticky tack hiding anywhere I can go grab you?
Probably.
Probably,
Who knows
but
where it is?
Yeah,
yeah,
but
but with everything going on with getting the store ready for this weekend, I'm pretty brain fried right now. So yeah, Gilly Dew sounds like a fun color, or Warrior Skin maybe. Trying to think of what I want to put on his horns and claw. Um, you know what? I think I'm gonna do the Gilly Dew. It's an interesting looking color right here, Gilly Dew. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, let's put that on this bad boy. See what it looks like and how we feel about it. Hey, what's up, Tiny Clans? Enamel, delicious. All right. Oh Lord. All right. Let's give this fun gilly color a shot. That's interesting. Put it right on that horn, because we could put and make it this gray, or it'd be like, all right, this is what the horn of this age looks like. Let's go do it this color, and then do another one that's a little bigger, a little older, different color horn as they age. The horn would change color. Maybe that'd be kind of neat.
Don't they call like the younger ones the greenhorns?
Yeah,
Hey,
it's
I have
awesome.
no idea why I know that.
I do. Cause you're old. Just had a birthday. Right. Down, down. All right. There we go.
Maybe someday
And
I'll look my age, but I don't think I'll ever
no,
act it.
no, I don't think you'll ever look your age, brother. You are like one of those individuals that you'll be in your 40s and be like, yep, you wish you had my genetics. Wait, you are in your 40s. And I'm sitting there going, yep, I wish I had his genetics. So congrats, it worked. Uh, but fishing is such a fun sport. All right, let me paper towel done. Fell on the floor. Yeah, I'm over here trying to do chopsticks. It's my paintbrushes. Pick it up. I got it. Ta-da! Thank you, thank you. I'll be here all week. Make sure you tip your bartenders and waitresses, because we'd hate for them to go away empty-handed from such an amazing. Oh, there we go. Occultist cloak. That sounds very hand and foot clawy. Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah, I wonder, like seeing all these paint names nowadays, like if the parents from the Satanic Panic back in the '80s got to see them, would that just be would they be burning paints too?
Oh my God, they would. You know, especially with a lot of the ones that um, like GW makes, because they're like, just what is this creature's name? Plague Bearer, you know, and then with Army Painter, you've got Murder Scene, Slaughter Red, you know, Demonic Yellow, or whatever. You know, there's going to be something that will potentially upset any somebody, maybe not everyone, but I feel like during the satanic panic of the '80s and early or late '70s, there's absolutely the possibility that you know something would be like, they can't do that. They can't have a demonic tutor.
I remember thinking, like when I first saw those Citadel paint names
Hmm.
in the early '90s, like that the pendulum was swinging in the other direction a bit hard. Yeah,
Okay,
like as a response to the Satanic Panic, they're like, "Well, we'll just own it then, if that's what you're going to call us." And then
right,
here's demonic brown.
right. Here's summoning circle orange. That's funny. All right. There's that. I know there's some cool documentaries being put together that speak to that time of our of tabletop history, and I'm looking forward to seeing it when it does hit the the shelves, and I can go, ooh, that was interesting ride for show.
Do you know who's doing those? I didn't realize they were being done.
Yeah, I know one of them is being done by the Geek Preacher. Yeah, so he's a minister or preacher, and also uses RPGs and Dungeons and Dragons in particular in to help with lessons and stuff, and also just because he enjoys the game. I think I'm not going to speak fully what for why he decided to do it or what how he uses the game in his life in that regard, but it's fun to watch his content that he makes around his journey making that documentary and such. So good job. I remember once acrylic hit on our on miniatures, my mind was blown. No more thinner. I ended up using my canvas paints for miniatures, and they looked awesome. I don't know why over the years I didn't think about doing that, but the name of Sophist liquid text gouge don't have cool names for the colors. Yeah, that's unfortunate. They need more cool names. You know, Ghost Lamp Green.
And most everybody was chasing like the Bob Ross paint names, the
Mhm.
Phthalo blue, or was it Phthalo green, Phthalo whatever.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. I always wondered what a Phthalo was.
I don't think anybody knows
I I've got the internet right in front of me. Let's.
what a Pathalo is. Is it green?
It is green.
Good Lord.
It's copper.
Oh, like verdigris.
Phthalocyanine blue or green. It's the synthetic blue pigment which turns into green because of verdigris. Yeah.
Nice. Very cool.
The chemistry part of painting, like those lessons were ones I did not expect to pick up. Like
Hmm.
finding out like the titanium atoms that they use in white. That's the reason why white can look so grainy is because those atoms are so big and they attract
Right.
each other. Like, I'm learning chemistry
Right. Covalent bonds. What?
now. What?
Back up. I didn't come here to learn Science.
Yeah, covalent is a $5 word there, buddy. That was
Right.
a good one.
Sorry.
No, more words.
Verisimilitude.
Yes. Brobdingnagian. I love that one.
Ooh, what does that mean?
Means really big. It's it's a really old word, but Brobdingnagia is the opposite city of Lilliput
Oh,
from Gulliver's Travels. It's where the giants lived,
nice.
so it's like mythically large as Brobdingnagian.
That's amazing. I love it. And now we must journey there. Sorry to all listeners. We are going to that word to see my relatives. Like, Rick, why have you come here? You are not one of us. You are a half-sized person. You take that back. All I got is permanent green ultramarine blue. Nice. Perfect.
Ultramarine blue threw me for a loop, as I always equated that to the chapter from Warhammer 40K, like they're the
Hmm.
poster boy Marines. Didn't realize that that was the name of a color of blue that it's been around since like Renaissance times. They just called it that. I think they use actual lapis.
Lapis lazuli?
Yeah, in the crafting of it, so it was a more rare paint until
Okay.
they found a way to more mass produce it.
All right. It's wild.
But in the older in the older oil paintings, the lapis was so expensive you don't see much of that blue out there.
Yeah. All right. It's coming along pretty okie dokes. So I just need to do some touch ups on certain spots and then come back and do some potential highlighting, I think, and detail work. So to hit under the eyes. Don't want them to look all like tired and stuff like me.
That talk about the sun sword earlier reminded
Yeah.
me of an old kind of choose your own adventure role playing game book that was
Okay.
out back in like the early 90s. I've been struggling to remember the name of it for many years, but if anybody like might remember it, and imagine it's you. I think it had like Jess Goodwin even did some of the art in it, or it was evocative of his stuff, but it wasn't made by Games Workshop.
Hmm.
But it was about like it was a sequential book series that was choose your own adventure where you played the role of the hero guy. And I don't remember, was his name Lone Wolf?
Lone Wolf and Cub.
Not that, not Lone Wolf and Cub. He was just like the Lone Wolf, but he had the summer sword, or the also known as the sun sword.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Nice.
And they, instead of like you had to roll a d20, but if you didn't have a d20, there was a like a patch of numbers on the back of the book, and you could just drop a pen on it and
Oh,
take the
nice.
number,
That's pretty cool.
or you could just remember where the number was and aim for that if you were a kid who didn't want to lose. Yeah.
Bing.
Hey, look, I got a 20.
Right. All right. I hate to do this today, ladies and gentlemen, but I am not feeling too good. So I think we're gonna go ahead and stop today's episode right now. Yeah. Um, so for everybody watching, thanks so much. We will be back next week, and then the week after PAX Unplugged, and then we'll be taking a holiday break. So we got like I think 2 more episodes in us. So something like that. Yeah, should be good to go. All right, everybody. Sorry, but I'm not feeling it. Not feeling it, but not feeling good. So, all right. Peace.
Take care.